welcome and or welcome back to my channel. Let's get right into it. We are at the end of November for me currently. So we are nearing the end of the year and I have not met my 2025 reading goal. Last year, I believe I read about 88 books. The year before that, I believe I read around 80-ish books. And this year I knew it was gonna be a slower year for me. I had a lot going on in my personal life, and so I set my goal for 60 books. I am currently at 56 books. Every year that I have set a reading goal, I have met that reading goal by October. It's not concerning. We're really close to it. I'm in the middle of reading my 57th book and I should finish it probably tonight. I think I'm gonna sit down and really just like get into it and finish it. But I've just, with everything going on in my personal life, I've been in this kind of like slump with reading where it's not that I don't want to read, I just don't really have time. And so I'm going to prioritize that specifically in this video, but just for the rest of the year, reading, because I have so many books on my TBR. I went from reading about 7 to 10 books a month, which is really, really good. Now I'm like struggling to get to 4 books a month. I think this is my 4th book this month, so I'm picking up the pace a little bit, but I don't even know if I'll finish a 5th book, hence this video. So this video ends when I meet my 2025 reading goal. I thought this would be fun to document. It might take me a minute, but I feel like it'll hold myself more accountable to finishing my reading goal. I'm going to finish it. I cannot imagine myself not finishing it, but I really want to prioritize my reading. It makes me happy. It's my favorite hobby. I have books I need to read, okay? So this video finishes. This video is over when I meet my 60 reads for 2025. Like I said, I'm in the middle of reading my 57th book. This is Three Shattered Souls by Mai Corlin. This is the 3rd and final book in the Broken Blades trilogy that she's been releasing this last like 2 years, I believe. And it's really good. I have a little over 100 pages left. So I have a few other things I'm gonna do today. Again, it's Saturday, November 22nd. So I've just been running errands all day. I'm going to finish up a couple of other things that I need to get done, and then I'm gonna sit down and finish this tonight. I'm like 100% sure I can do it, but again, I just need to hold myself accountable, not sit on my phone, my laptop, watching YouTube, whatever, and just freaking read this book and finish it, because it's really good and I really want to know how this series ends. I've had this, again, on my TBR for so long. I have so many books I need to get to. So first things first, Three Shattered Souls. Okay, it is much later. I read a few chapters before I went and ran more errands, and I just picked my book back up again. I think it's like, oh my god, what time is it? I don't know. I think it's like 7:30, but something just happened in this book, and it's kind of like this is what everything was leading up to, but we still have like 100 pages. So like what? I feel like that's not a good sign for everyone involved, because that means something is going to happen, and I don't know. It's a little scary. It's a little scary when stuff like that happens. Good morning, everybody. It's the next day. Last night I did end up finishing my 57th book of the year, which was Three Shattered Souls by Mai Corlin, and I think I'm gonna give it a 4.5 stars. I did review and rate 5 Broken Blades of 5 stars and 4 Ruined Realms of 5 stars. I talked about this in a video a while back about how maybe I would change my 4 Ruined Realms read if I were to reread it today. I think in the moment I was going off of a high of like reading a bunch of other good fantasies, and I just really liked the pacing of it. I don't know if it's necessarily a 5-star, but overall I really, really, really do love this trilogy. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. A lot of people compare it to Six of Crows because it's similar in the sense of like found family heist, like group of people coming together for something like that. And I just enjoyed it. I do think I probably like Six of Crows more, but I think it's so fun. I really enjoy the pacing. I was never bored. I grew attached to a lot of the characters. I was frustrated with some of them, but I feel like it was purposeful, like intentional that I was frustrated with them. So I thought the writing was good. I really, really enjoyed it. The ending was so sad. but it kind of felt like it was a cliffhanger. I know that the trilogy is complete, but I'm interested to see if Mike Corlin does a like spin-off with some of the characters just based on how that book ended. I'm not getting my hopes up, but I really, really hope so, because the characters that I want her to do a spin-off with that she kind of maybe hinted towards in the end, I would love that. But I ended up rating it at 4.5 stars. I think overall the series is probably around that range for me, like a 4.5 stars. Yeah, and so now I'm on to my 58th book of the year, which will be No Matter What by Kara Bastone. I got the advanced reader copy from NetGalley for this book. I read her other book, Ready or Not, and then Promise Me Sunshine. Really enjoyed both of those. I think I enjoyed Promise Me Sunshine more than Ready or Not, but I'm really excited to read this one and get into it. So I'll probably be starting that later today. Okay, same day, just a little bit later, I went and got a pedicure, and when I was there, I started No Matter What by Kara Bastone, and I got like a couple chapters into it. Now I am 17% of the way through chapter 5, and because it's an arc and it doesn't come out until next year, I believe it's like April or something, maybe March. Okay, expected March 3rd, 2026. I have seen a lot of commentary around arcs and reviewing arcs, and I've always kind of moved forward when reading arcs with being extremely vague. And I've seen a lot of commentary of people saying to hold reviews unless it's like for NetGalley or something until the book is published. So I'm probably not going to say too much about it. If my camera shakes, it's because my cat is right here. I started talking, so he came over here. I might be extremely vague with this book, but I will provide my overall sentiment. And right now, how I'm feeling 5 chapters in, 17%, I like it. I like it a lot. And what do I say? What can I say? I think the pacing was just weird during those first 2 chapters that I read. I thought the pacing was a little off, but I think it's still, I don't know the exact process that books go through, like publishing process and editing and everything. It's probably still in the early stages, like what I'm reading right now, and will continue to be edited and, you know, looked over before it is officially published. So there may still be things that are changed with pacing and grammar and all the things. But I think the first 2 chapters were just a little choppy for me, but like, I mean, it's still fine. And it's honestly a lot. I didn't even read the summary, like the premise of the book before going into it. I read a little bit of it, but I am the type of reader where like I kind of go based off the author, the cover, a very, I'm going to use the word again, vague description. If I know the overall like vibe of a book, and because I've read books by Kara Bastone in the past, I was already interested. But it's a lot of a deeper concept than I was anticipating, but I love those books where there's more of a meaning there. There's more of a deeper concept, and I feel like it's going to be the type of book, I like the direction that it's going in. I feel like it's going to be a type of read where I think I'm going to find myself really liking the journey that this main character is on. And yeah, I mean, this is going to be so botched, I feel like, me describing this, but I probably won't update too much while I'm reading this book, just because, again, it's an advanced reader copy. Doesn't come out until March. I don't want to cross any lines of what I should be saying in that regard. Long story short, I'm liking it. Just reached 60% into No Matter What, and I wanted to give a quick little update. I haven't filmed too many clips, and like I said previously, I don't want to overstate speak about the book just because it's an arc that doesn't come out for a few months. I'm really enjoying how the story is developing and the different areas of growth that our main character is experiencing. I am starting to more so understand the structure of this book because, like I said, the first 2 chapters felt a bit all over the place to me. It felt really, what's the word, like blotchy, or it just was kind of hard for me to follow. I wasn't really understanding who was speaking, what we were talking about. It was a little messy, but I think it's starting to clean up really well and I'm enjoying the story, the overall flow of the story more. Like I said, I'm 60% of the way through. I think I'm gonna read a couple of more chapters tonight. It's a pretty quick read, but I'll probably end up finishing it tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, on Thursday. Thursday is Thanksgiving, so I'll have a little bit more time to read then. But yeah, pretty quick and easy read. It is a lot heavier than I anticipated. I think I mentioned this, I didn't really read what the summary was, but I'm actually quite surprised. I feel like Kara Boston's books are always slightly heavier. Ready or Not was an unexpected pregnancy, so there were some heavy topics in there as well. And then Promise Me Sunshine went through processes of grief, which are obviously extremely heavy. But this also feels heavy in a different way. It's, you know, about this marriage of a couple, and they went through a traumatic experience together, and they are slowly, I think, finding their way back to each other. But yeah, I am very intrigued with where the story is going. I'm interested in both of our characters. I did look back on my Goodreads reviews of Ready or Not and Promise Me Sunshine. I think I rated both of them. I rated both of them a 3.5 stars. I don't think that's a bad review. I kind of remember rating Promise Me Sunshine like a 4-star though, but it said 3.5 on Goodreads. So I don't know, maybe I'm just misremembering, obviously, but still really enjoyed those. But I'm kind of foreshadowing that I'm going to enjoy this one the most out of all 3 of them. We'll see. 60%, there's still 40%, of course, more to go. And I think the ending and how we wrap up such a heavy topic and plot will definitely impact how I end up reading this book. But yeah, that's my 60% of the way through update. I'm really enjoying it. I hope, I don't know, I feel so weird talking about it now that I've seen all this discourse about what to say and what not to say when reviewing an arc, which I understand because it's a very touchy topic. But I did review on Goodreads what the description of the story is. I'm holding this up as if this is the book. This is just my Kindle. I did read what the description of No Matter What is on Goodreads, and pretty much what I've said is like already in that description, so I don't think I'm giving anything away. And my thoughts are that I'm liking it. So that's it. Gosh, it has been days since I've talked to the camera. So it's December 2nd and Thanksgiving came and went. My mom was in town. I have been reading. I just haven't been updating you guys. So I finished my arc of No Matter What by Kara Boston last week. I think I finished it on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, and I ended up rating it at 4.5 stars, and that will be my 58th book completed this year, which is very exciting. It's also really exciting that I rated it at 4.5 stars because I thought I had rated her previous 2 books that I read by her higher. I think I rated both of them like a 3.5 stars. I think I said that earlier in this video. I kind of remember maybe liking them a little bit more than that. 3.5 is not a bad rating, but I think I enjoyed this new release of hers way more than the other 2 books, which is really good. I was gonna read you guys the description that is on Goodreads for the book. Since it's an arc, I didn't want to like expose too much beyond, you know, like what I should. But this is a really long, hold on, can this like focus a little? It might be too bright. This is a really long description. This whole thing right here is the synopsis of the book. It's really not that long of a book. I'll just read like the first little part so that you guys get an idea of what this book was about. Can love draw them together, ... again? After a traumatic accident threatens the foundations of their happy marriage, a young couple tries to rebuild and find their way back to each other and themselves in this tender, slow burn romance by the author of Ready or Not and Promise Me Sunshine. Roz and Vin can't look each other in the eyes anymore, let alone share a bed. It's been a year since they survived a traumatic car accident, and their marriage hasn't been the same. But Roz has held out hope they can fix things until she discovers Vin signed a new lease. I'll just read that part. I feel like some of this is almost oversharing. Like, this is a lot of detail, but you get the gist of it. Again, don't want to say too much about it because it's an arc and it doesn't come out until March, but I highly recommend it. I think it's a really emotional, and it gets a little intense at times because it deals with a lot of really deep topics and a lot of trauma that the characters had to endure together. And I just really liked how we dove into their relationship and them finding their way back together and how they dealt with addressing what had happened to them in the past and actually communicating and finding healthy ways to cope. I just think that all of the surrounding themes in this book just not really like resonated with me because I can't like relate, but I think that it just felt like such a real story. Like, it was so realistic to me, and I felt the connection and the love growing between this couple from what it had existed to coming back, you know? Like, it was a really, really good read. I enjoyed it. I thought about it for days after finishing it. Yeah, I'm just really happy that I got the arc to that. So thank you again, NetGalley, for the arc to No Matter What. Now I am on to my 59th book of the year. So close to meeting my reading goal of 60. And I have a few updates. So I started, as you can see through my B-roll, Daughters of Shandong. And this is another book that I received from Berkeley Romance. So thank you so much, Berkeley, for sending me this book. They sent it to me earlier this year and I'm just now getting around to it. And I'm so happy that I am picking this up. This is also kind of an intense story. It's based on a true story, but it's a fictional novel. I'm only 100 pages in and I didn't really read the entire back description because, again, I just feel like sometimes it just says too much. It's just doing too much. So this book is about the Ang family, specifically the daughters and the mother of the Ang family, and how mistreated they are during the time the Communist Army take over their part of China and when the communists are starting to take over China in general. So it's very intense, like I said. I'm only 100 pages in, so I'm really starting to get into the depths of it, but it's really just about the mistreatment of women in China during this time, specifically the oldest daughter and the mother, just because they're so focused on heirs and producing sons. And so because this family has had 4 daughters, they've just been highly, extremely mistreated their entire lives and are now left alone for survival. So that's as far as I've gotten in this book. I'm going to continue reading a little bit more. I started this on Thanksgiving and I am only 100 pages in. It's been about almost a week. I've been really busy. Like I said, it was Thanksgiving and my mom was in town. But also, I've like gotten into Stranger Things and it's this whole thing. So I've been busy. But because of that, I've been so busy with other things and working, whatnot, I decided to download an audiobook of Good Spirits by B.K. Morrison. So this book came out, I believe, a couple months ago. I was kind of planning on buying it, but then I love all of B.K. Morrison's books. I think I've read everything else by her, and it's all like 5 stars for me. I love her, but this story specifically I wasn't super intrigued with. I didn't know if I would enjoy it because it's pretty much about a ghost. This woman falling in love with a ghost. And the only other book that I've read that has a similar plot to that is The 7-Year Slip. And I really liked that, but like it also, you know, they were both still real. It was just a magical realism. This one, he's literally a ghost. And I was like, I don't know if I would like that. But then I had a credit to listen to this. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to listen to it. Like no harm, no foul. Okay? Just use my credit to listen to it. I am almost done with chapter 6. I'm kind of enjoying it. I've been listening to it every day for the last few days while I'm driving around for work and stuff. And it's fine. I'm not loving it, but it's okay. Maybe it'll pick up a little bit more after this. But those are the 2 reads that I'm currently reading right now. So when I am not and do not have the time to physically pick up a book and read, I'm listening to Good Spirits. And I'm assuming I'll finish this book before I finish Good Spirits, just because Good Spirits was about 10 hours long. I have 8 hours and 10 minutes left in the book. And I feel like I could probably read faster than listen to that. I don't know, we'll see. I'm kind of busy the next few days with work and things outside of work and stuff. So for sure I'll finish this book probably on like Saturday. I don't think I'll finish the audiobook by Saturday. So those are my updates. I'm getting to it. I am so damn close to this 60 books read. I just got to get there, but all good things, all good things. I'm gonna go read a little bit more of this now. Okay. I don't know what my last update was, but I just finished Daughters of Shandong and I'm giving it a 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. I don't know if I gave an actual description of what it was about, but essentially this is around 1948 in China, and the communists have taken over. To avoid persecution by the Communist Party, the Eng family flees, and they leave behind their daughter-in-law and her 3 daughters, just up to their own survival. Essentially, in this time in China, women are useless. They don't have any... The only benefit that they can provide to a family is providing an heir, and because the daughter-in-law had not provided an heir up to this point, she was deemed useless, and so they flee, leave them behind. And so this story is essentially their story. It's about their survival, their resilience, their strength, breaking from generational trauma and other cycles of harm and structures that are built off of societal norms that are harmful for women specifically, and then in more specifically this book, women of Chinese descent, and how that can just impact yourselves, your family, the people around you. Again, it's all societal norms and just breaking from them. And I think this was such a beautifully well-told story. I believe it's also a debut novel by Eve Chung, which is like incredible. The structure and the storytelling of this novel was so good, and I think it was also really interesting. One of the things I really just personally enjoyed about this book too was that I was not aware of so many of these things that were happening in China during this time. I feel like I never really learned about that ever. So it was interesting to really learn about all the different things that people had to endure during this time and what was truly happening. Get a little bits here and there that go over kind of like what's happening politically and historically in the world, but you're really focused on like the experiences of women during this time and other people. They start to connect and come across a lot of other different walks of life throughout their journey of survival. So I thought that was extremely interesting. Again, I think I said I'm rating it a 4.5 stars. It was so good. I didn't have a ton of time to sit down and read this week, so I did end up downloading the audiobook off of Libby, and I loved the audiobook. I just finished it on the physical copy. I just wrapped up reading it with this physical copy, but I listened to most of it this week and it flew by. Like, it was such an easy listen for me because I was so intrigued the whole time. So I highly recommend, like, if you're looking to either read or listen to it, I recommend both, but I did really enjoy the audiobook and it flew by. It really, really helped. But yeah, that's my update for Daughters of Shandong. So that is my 59th book read this year. I'm one book away from finishing my reading goal. And I feel like these books, like these are such good books to wrap up the year on. I'm still listening to Good Spirits. I'm trying to get into it, but I don't know. I know that it is cute. I like the Christmas vibes, but I lose attention really, really easily. I don't really understand what's happening. Like, I feel like I listen for like 10 minutes and it's just them having a conversation of them going back and forth about the same thing for like, it takes me nowhere. I feel like I'm going nowhere with these characters at this point, and I'm only 8 chapters in, and I really want to enjoy it because I love all of BK Borison's other books, and I'm seeing a ton of people rave about this book. And I know experiences with reading a physical copy and listening to an audiobook can be different, but the dialogue's just not hitting for me. The descriptions, nothing has happened. Like, nothing has happened. So I'm still gonna give it a try because I want to like it. So I'm gonna really try to lock in on this, but I'm also going to pick up a physical copy of another book too, probably. I just have not decided what that's gonna be yet. So we'll see what will be my 60th book of the year for me to hit my reading goal. But that's where I am with this. 8 chapters in. It doesn't say a percentage on Audible. I'm new to Audible, so I don't really know how to work it. It says I have 7 hours and 40 minutes left, which honestly, that kind of pains me. Also, forgot if I mentioned, but that book was sent to me by Berkeley Romance, so thank you so much, Berkeley, for the free copy of Daughters of Shandong. I don't think I've read a book yet that Berkeley has sent to me that I haven't rated above 4 stars, which is incredible. I don't think I'm lying. I think that's a true fact. I think that's a fact. I'll check, but I think that's a fact. It is Sunday, December 7th, and I thought I would give you guys a little update on what I've been reading. As you saw, there have been some, movement in my reading progress as of late. So I am continuing to read. We'll start the update here. I'm continuing to listen to Good Spirits by BK Borison, and I will say, update now, I have about 5 hours, a little less than 5 hours left in the audiobook, and I'm on chapter 20, I think, and
I am enjoying it a little more now. I know my earlier update was not super positive. I think I'm starting to connect more with the characters and understand where they're coming from. We've learned a lot more about some of their backgrounds, kind of. It's still a little up in the air, but I think we're technically only halfway through the book. I think this is like the 50% mark. So, feeling a little more hopeful about it. I'm more intrigued to pick it up and listen to it now, whereas before I was kind of putting it off sometimes. So that's a good update. I'm enjoying that a little bit more. And then yesterday, I finally picked up These Infinite Threads by Tahira Mafi. I read This Woven Kingdom in the beginning of November, so the beginning of last month, and I absolutely loved it. I devoured it, rated it a 4.25 stars. It was a really solid introduction to this fantasy world because if you guys didn't know, this is a series. The fourth book was just released, however, it's still unfinished apparently. So, this is the second book in the series, and I'm so excited to be starting it. I'm already almost halfway into the book. I'm at like page 180, and I think it's like 400 pages. I'm eating it up. I literally just started it yesterday, like I said, and I'm devouring it, which is good because I'm really busy this week after work. I have a couple of holiday parties for work and then also just like workout classes and stuff. So I'm glad that I got to get a good head start on it this weekend, and I'm hoping to finish it soon. I think I'm enjoying it more than This Woven Kingdom, just because now we're like introduced into the world. So like it started off fresh from where the first book ended, and immediately it's like jam packed with action and just super involved with the characters. And it's very, a lot of the themes are like political intrigue and just about like identity and forbidden loves and betrayal. And so it's just been from the get-go just extremely entertaining. The pacing is actually just incredible in this book. I'm very much enjoying it, so that is really hopeful. I've also been on and off reading, I think I showed you guys in the clip yesterday, Women, Race, and Class. This is a nonfiction book. I just had this and I've been really wanting to read a little more nonfiction just to educate myself, continue educating myself on really important topics. And I really want to finish it by the end of the year, but not putting any pressure on myself. I want to be really intentional about my time spent reading that. But it was recommended a lot on like TikTok and stuff. So I thought that would be a good one to read. So I've just been kind of reading that one on and off. I'm about like 50-ish pages into it, but I think my 60th book that'll get me to hitting my reading goal of the year will either be These Infinite Threads or Good Spirits, just depending on, if I'm able to listen to my audiobook more than I am able to pick up my physical copy this week. I do think, though, I'm just really gravitating towards These Infinite Threads. Like I said, I'm kind of obsessed with it now, so I think this will end up being my 60th read of the year, which is really exciting. I'm so glad I picked it up. I was going back and forth between either that and another romance that I have, or Catching Fire, because I just reread Hunger Games, so I have Catching Fire as well. But I don't know, I'm so happy that I picked it up. If you guys have read this book, then you know, but it's starting to get so good. I'm so upset that I didn't pick up this book earlier. I think I said in my last video, I had This Woven Kingdom on my shelf on my TBR cart for almost the entire year because I knew that it was a series, and so I didn't want to like start it until I was ready to like dive into another series, But now I'm upset with myself because I'm like, oh my God, where have I been? But at the same time, I'm also not that upset because I feel like I have more time now that it's winter to like binge read these books, and I feel like it's the perfect time and setting. Like, I love reading fantasy in the winter, so it kind of is perfect. But okay, that's where I am. Those are the updates. Hopefully, I get so close. Hopefully, this week, I think for sure this week, I will be meeting my 2025 reading goal. Thank God. Ooh, mini little update before I go to Pilates. I need my pre-Pilates Uncrustable. I have about an hour and 20 minutes left of Good Spirits. I've been listening to it on and off while I work and just like walk around, getting ready for bed, whatever. So I'm actually really hammering my way through that. I thought I was going to finish These Infinite Threads first, but I think I kind of just want to finish Good Spirits tonight. I think I want to just, when I get home, just have it on in the background, do some chores, and finish it finally. I'll give my full thoughts on the book when I'm done, obviously. But last night I got to page 254 of These Infinite Threads, eating it up, like I was saying still. And I hate that I keep saying that, but that's how I feel. That's what I'm doing. And I'm also really excited to pick that up. Hopefully, I can just finish Good Spirits so that I can pick up. And I mean, I'm not trying to rush Good Spirits, it's not bad. I like it. But I'm just kind of craving picking up these Infinite Threads too. Like, this is why I can't read more than one book at a time. This is always my issue, is that I don't know, I just end up wanting to focus on one book, or it's hard choosing between the two. It almost takes me longer. You would think it wouldn't take me as long because I'm doubling down, but I don't know. We'll see where the night takes me. But I need to eat my Uncrustable now and go to Pilates. So goodness. It's been a minute. It's probably been a week since I finished reading my 60th book of the year, Good Spirits by B.K. Borison, and I haven't had any time to give my thoughts on it. I totally spaced it. I was going to start editing this video today, and I remembered that I need to tell you guys how I felt about the book, how it feels now having finished my 2025 reading goal. That's crazy. I did it. Oh my gosh. Like, this whole year, I haven't put too much thought to finishing my reading goal. I just assumed that I would meet it. But then once December started rolling around, I was like, oh my God, I haven't met my reading goal yet. Which obviously, like, it's still within the year. Like, we still are like only halfway through December. So, like, completely fine. But I'm so happy that I met it. And I think filming this video helped me just focus on that. And it motivated me to finish that. So thank you to the camera and to whoever's watching this. But yeah, so let's kind of talk about the book that I read. My 60th book was Good Spirits, like I said, by B.K. Borison. And B.K. Borison, if you don't know, wrote the Lovelight Farms series, which I adore. The books individually, I never rated a 5 stars, but I think the series as a whole is a 5 stars. It's such just like good vibes, charming, found family, like really fun romance reads. I adore it. She also has written First Time Caller and is now coming out with the second book in that series, which is called And Back to You. And I rated First Time Caller 5 stars, have not read her new book yet. I think it's going to be released in February, something like that, sometime soon. And I'm really excited for that. I picked up Good Spirits because I've seen so many people rate it a 5 stars or a 4 stars and up. I'm not super into the magical realism part of romance a lot of the times. I think the only other magical realism book that I have read is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. And I did rate that a 5 stars. I loved that book, but it was a little bit of a different twist on a magical realism. This one, the main character is literally a ghost. So in Good Spirits, you have Harriet, who is the female main character, and you also have Nolan, who is the male main character. It is a dual POV, so you get both of their perspectives, which is super fun. I did listen to this via audiobook, and so I think maybe I had a different connection with the characters due to that. You have different experiences when you read the book versus when you listen to it. At least I do. So maybe that's how it impacted me a little bit differently. But essentially, you have Harriet, who is an antique shop owner, and then you have Nolan, who is the ghost of Christmas past. And so he comes during the holiday season to visit certain individuals that may have had negative experiences in the past and not always been the best person, and he takes them to explore those past experiences and those journeys, takes them on a bit of a journey of becoming a better person, having these realizations, being able to move past this in their lives so that their souls can move on, their souls can continue to grow, is essentially what I got from it. Whatever. This story just didn't really land on me. I think I'll just read you guys kind of like my synopsis that I wrote online of the book, because it wasn't a bad book by any means. I didn't not enjoy it. I just don't think I connected with it all that much. So I wrote that I listened to this book, which was not my favorite, unfortunately. I am obsessed with all of Borison's other work, but this one did not connect with me very much at all. The idea of Nolan being a ghost was not the most intriguing to me at first, but I wanted to give it a try, and I just didn't really end up vibing with it. That's just me. I love the whimsical holiday atmosphere, and I thought they were really well done emotional moments that had me rooting for the characters, and I enjoyed learning more about their backgrounds. But I also had moments of feeling that both the main characters were a bit immature, and the things that they did and said got a little too repetitive for me. I'm cool. I'm conflicted with my feelings on this, but that's just my brain dump. not bad, but just not my overall cup of tea. So those are my overall thoughts and feelings on it. I was a little disappointed just because so many people have been rating it a 5 stars, and so I kind of had high hopes, but that's okay. I still had a good time, and it was all in the holiday spirit. It was very whimsical and had all the Christmas atmospheric feelings about it, and so I highly recommend if you enjoy that. I also just had like side note here, there was a couple of smut scenes in the book, and I'm not like the biggest fan of smut. I don't mind it. It's not what I technically look for in a lot of books these days, but I didn't really like it. It was weird. Especially audiobook, I skipped it. Not gonna lie, I skipped it. There was a whole chapter that was like 26 minutes of smut. Skipped it. And maybe that's bad of me, maybe that's cheating, but I tried listening to it and I kept skipping through listening, and I could not do it. It wasn't that good. I don't know if it's because my idea of him being a ghost is just like throwing me off, but I also didn't really understand the ending. Not to just like shit on this book, but the ending didn't really make sense to me. And obviously I can't say anything about it because that's just spoilers, but the ending, I was extremely confused. Like, I mean, I go have to pick up like a copy of this book to read it with my own eyes because I could not understand how the ending was happening, and like I don't really know what happened. Maybe this is just a me problem. I don't know, but I rated it a 3.5 stars. Did I ever say that? I rated it a 3.5 stars, which is not a bad rating. Just wasn't my favorite. That's it. All of this to say, I finished my 2025 reading goal, and I'm so relieved and like happy about it. And just to preface everything though, I know this is the end of the video, but like reading goals are not everything. You don't have to meet them. It doesn't mean that you're a good reader, a bad reader, whatever. I just had my own personal goal for like what I wanted to accomplish this year, and I'm just really happy and proud of myself that I made it. So stay tuned. I'll be doing my whole 2026 reading goals and everything sometime soon, obviously in the beginning of the year sometime, but wanted to get this video up and done. But thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below if you made it this far in the video what your reading goal was and if you've met it yet. I would really love to know. But thank you guys so much for coming along. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really enjoyed actually filming it. I thought that this was, again, super motivating and just a fun way to finish out the year and my reading goal, and just to kind of like track my thoughts and opinions and me actually meeting that 60 book reading goal. So hope you have a good rest of your year. Happy holidays and happy reading. Bye.